Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at the Action Strike sound library. Alright, so welcome back everyone. So I've loaded up Ableton. First thing I'm going to do is drag across Kontakt. So for those who don't know, Kontakt is a plugin that allows you to load up your sound libraries. You will need something like Kontakt to load up all your sound libraries. Violins, brass, woodwinds, percussion. I'm sure there's other plugins as well, like there's a few different versions of Kontakt. I'm using Kontakt 5. I've also got Kontakt 6 there. But today we'll just use Kontakt 5. I just find it a little bit smoother and easier to use. So here on the left, you can see all of our sound libraries. But today we're going to have a look at Action Strike. So what I want to do today is just have a little bit of fun. We can make some like cool drum sections. We can switch it up, going from like 4/4 time signatures to 7/8. Yeah, I think we'll have some fun. So I'll just show you guys how it works. I really like this plugin. This is what we use in a lot of our original soundtracks as well. So it's actually really, really good. So I'm going to load up Ensemble. So now if we just play some notes on the keyboard, we've got all these different rhythms. Yellow notes, they're just single hits, and you can kind of play so you can play your own kind of rhythms that way, or you can literally just hold down a single note and you're going to get some cool sounding rhythm. So right now we're on the Dark City sound. So now we've got different tones, different kind of drum sounds that we can load up. So we've got heroic drums. So depending on what movie you're working on, if you're working on something that's maybe Egyptian, you might want to load up, what's this, Lost Culture. I can hear something like that possibly being played in like a mummy movie or something like that. So what I like to do when I'm working with drums is kind of have like building blocks. So you may want to start with quarter notes, and then on top of that have your eighth notes, and then on top of that have 16th notes, and we can select different drum sounds for each section. So what we'll do is here we'll call this low quarter notes, so fourth notes. And then we'll clone this, control click and drag to clone. We'll call this guy, eighth, we'll call this guy eighth notes, and then we'll clone it again, and then we'll call this one 16th notes. And then what we'll do is we'll have another one, we'll call this accents. Alright, so let's start with our low quarter notes. Alright, so we've got a cool little rhythm there. Alright, now we're going to go across the eighth notes. I'm liking that. Let's duplicate this through. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's make sure we came in right on the beat. Let's have a listen to that back. Sounding drum. Okay, I like that. Alright, let's see what else we can do. I think we need some top end. Maybe we can add something a bit brighter on the top. Maybe we can bring that in here actually, and then we can do a part where everything dies down a little bit. So press play here and bring that in there. end, we need something a bit heavy. So we've got this. I want to play that underneath it as well. So drag that note down. Now another thing we can do with this sound library is I'm going to call this guy hits. And if we load it up again, so in this section we have hits, just single hits. I'm actually liking that, so I'm going to quantize those, and we'll loop that through so it's consistent throughout the track. We'll clone this guy again, and now let's put in some low thuds, some low deep impacts. Maybe something like that. Quantize those. With drums, it's good to quantize everything. Maybe don't quantize everything, but it's good to quantize a fair bit, because if the drums are out of time, your track can sound very sloppy. So if we load up instruments and go up here, there's a whole variety of instruments we can play. So if you guys have watched any of my film scoring tutorial videos, this will be very familiar to you guys. But go back, for those who haven't watched any, go back and have a watch of those, because we use a lot of these in those videos. But for today, let's see what we could use. I think this would be cool. Quantize these, and let's end the track with a cool 7/8 section. So I'll call this 7/8. Alright, so you can see, guys, that you can just come up with something cool very, very easily using this sound library. You can just load up some cool sounds, pick some cool rhythms, load up different time signatures. There's never-ending things you can do. So thanks for watching, guys. I highly recommend this sound library. It's really, really good. You can use it in your songs, you can use it in your soundtracks. There's really so much variety, and I highly recommend it. If you want to watch this full-length tutorial, it's available on my Patreon, where I go into a bit more detail and you can learn a bit more about how the sound library works. And I'll also have this session file available if you guys want to download it and have a little play around. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.